Evening, guys. Hey, well, tonight I just got done. Today I just got done rewatching Transformers 2007. The start of Michael Bay bringing us to the peak of sci-fi action flicks. Yeah, it starts off with the. It all starts off with the flashbacks regarding the Allspark on how it brings magical life to how it brings life to everyone's planet out into the form of Transformers. Yes, it was also the start of Michael Bay's 10-year run as director and producer of the Transformers Quinn trilogy. Yeah, starts off with yeah, it all starts off with Black killing everybody at a Saxon air base in Qatar in attempts of tying up loose ends while searching for the Allspark. Lennox and some members of his crew manage to escape, which prompts Blackout into sending Scorponok after them. While vaporizing and wiping everything out with his seismic charge blasts, destroying everything in there, including everybody there without any evidence. Yeah, it's quite something else, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it's quite the tale. Then we come to Sandwich Mickey Ed in Tranquility High School, where he starts doing show and tell with people with his classmates, and his teacher getting disgusted by much of what he has to show. Then being brought after a prank that done to him by his father, he goes over to Ray Bolivia's car sales place to get himself a car. But when his father refused to pay any higher than 4,000, the car that he had approached that Bolivia said was 5 grand starts unleashing an electromagnetic pulse on the entire used car place just to force him into selling it for 4,000. Yeah, Bay knew to come up with some real jokes and stuff. Yeah. The Pentagon was on full alert at the time. Yeah, at the same time, the Pentagon was on full alert. Yeah. Okay. Next up, as soon as he gets home, he was trying to sell these pair of glasses of of gra- glasses on eBay, which nobody wanted to buy. But seriously, I would never fucking waste money for stuff on eBay through bidding. I would only buy stuff off eBay, not waste money on bids. Yeah, no bidding. Yeah. Also, yeah, right here. Figured I'd show you guys the screen while I go along. While was struggling, he later noticed Sam was on his way uh, looking to hang out in his new car while bringing his best friend Miles with him. On the way, he'd run into Michaela hanging out with some bullies from high school. But then when Michaela started to have problems with him, she decided to walk on her way back. When she and then it gave Sam the chance to find her, and then it causes Sam to ditch his best friend to bring Michaela to have Michaela drive back with him in his car. Then soon the car he started noticing something weird with the car as it brings him up those two up to a hill while playing some romantic music. Yeah, but then t- and then they and then he was able to bring him back. Then he was able to drive her back to her house, and she thanked him for it. Yeah, Bumblebee. Later on, Bumblebee. Later on, Bumblebee was on his way. Later on, the car started driving off into the night, and soon as Sam got to the junk to an old factory, he sees the car somehow turning into a giant robot, which is Bumblebee, of course, which is what made him super pop. Yes, this movie is what made Bumblebee even more popular and more iconic in this form. Yeah, fans were really attached to the Bay versus Bumblebee. It really brought a lot of change to the character in the Transformers fandom. And now they want to make it model him after that from the Bay versus movies. Quite something. Yeah. Then Sam got arrested. After that, we come back to Lennox and his crew, still trying to find their finding a way to reconnect with the Saxon Air Base crew at back in DC, only to be run into a Decepticon called Scorponok, who kills one of his soldiers and then chases them over to a local village where one of their fellow S, one of the people that was tagging along with them had a father that lived there and handed him a handed him a cell phone to contact the Pentagon for air support to drive Scorponok away, leaving nothing behind but the very end of his tail. And they took it back for evidence as samples to present to the government on what they're dealing with. Then we come back to Sam running into running into Michaela after after he got scared and paranoid of his car being a being a live robot. Soon as he starts running away, he ends up running into another robot, which is an actual evil robot called Barricade, the Decepticon that transforms into a police car, therefore taking Prowl's transformation rather than. But I don't mind. Yeah, I'm sure with I'm sure there's a lot of reason to why they had Barricade transform into a police vehicle rather than giving it over to Prowl. But hey, it worked. And then it brought Bumblebee back to rescue him and Michaela from Barricade as they were being chased by the Decepticon over to the same factory where Sam discovered that his car was a robot. After 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 a brief fight with Barricade and Frenzy, they all went back. They all left it and were looking to head back home. But soon as Michaela starts calling Bumblebee's transformation a piece of crap Camaro, it ditches them for a moment, only to find itself a new and fresher and better, a new and more modern look for his color scheme, and turns into a Camaro into a current day Camaro. And then they were happy and decided to take back off. Meanwhile, Optimus Prime lands into a wide open empty field with not an empty field where there's nothing there, but was also on a hilltop where he transforms into a Peterbilt truck that he saw that had the flame insignia, which I also saw long time ago back in which I saw a long time ago back in which I saw a long time ago, which I saw years ago back in Canada, back in Niagara, over by the Niagara Falls Mall. Yeah, I saw that truck outside that Peterbilt truck outside the mall. Now, back to where I was with my review. I also took a good look, and I also, also along the way, while having gained his transformation into a Peterbilt, Ironhide lands into a swimming pool and takes the form of a GMC Top Kick that you simply cannot find in the real world stores or stuff. Jazz lands in a stadium, and then comes across a Porsche over in a nearby place, and Ratchet crashes right over by the diner, gaining attention from some big fat frat guy, and then turns into a GMC ambulance. Then they rallied with Bumblebee in an alleyway to reveal themselves to Sam and Michaela, explained why they were on Earth. They were looking for the Allspark, and they were looking at before they can before they run into Megatron, leader of the Decepticons that you see on the right. Yeah, but not exactly the founder of the Decepticon army in the Bayverse. That would be the Fallen, who was introduced as the titular main villain in the second movie, which I find is my favorite. Next up, after that, when Prime brought up the glasses, Sam and Michaela eventually had to go back home to find them. The Autobots, well, they were trying to not make such a mess, but Prime and the Autobots sure trashed the entire backyard. Oh my God, it drives the parents nuts. Later, they finally found the glasses, but were then approached and taken away by Seymour Simmons of Agent of Sector 7. And then the Autobots tried their best to save them and keep them away, but unfortunately, they ended up getting recaptured by Sector 7 along with Bumblebee. But Prime, on the other hand, was able to acquire the glasses, and later used them to used them to locate the Allspark, which was ironically in the hands of the same people that took Sam and Michaela, who needed all the info they could use to stop the Decepticon threat. In there, they had Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. But then, when Frenzy infiltrated the base, he contacts Starscream, and who rallies Barricade, Brawl, Blackout, and Bonecrusher to his aid. Wow, who would have thought most of the Decepticons would have names starting with the letter B in this movie? Yeah, that's something. Next up, next up, Bumblebee. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna end up crashing and burning. But never mind that. Bum, Soon enough, they had to let Bumblebee go, and there he was able to use the power of his hands to shrink the Allspark down to a small regular size, fitable enough for Sam to hold. As soon as they took off, Megatron was awakened from his cryostasis, starts killing some people inside his chamber, and then rallies with Starscream outside the dam. Frenzy was killed after Seymour Simmons distracted him with the flamethrower. While people he was with inside the dam were able to contact the Air Force for F-22 assistance against the Decepticons. On their way to Mission City, Optimus Prime killed Bone Crusher at the bridge. In a deleted scene, he cripples Barricade, who ends up returning in Dark of the Moon and The Last Night. Man, I don't know why they had that cheat and put death like that. Man, that's crazy. And as soon as they got to Mission City, Starscream shows up and blue and Starscream kills Bumblebee's legs. I mean, Starscream shot Bumblebee's legs off while blowing a Toys R Us truck with Furby dolls inside, while lifting it up with Ratchet to protect people from the crossfire. Yeah, sorry about the noise, folks. My neighbors have kids next door, but I'll also be doing another stream to about regarding blackout and stuff. Now, Sam was given the Allspark by Lennox, and And while Michaela went when Bumble was looking to get Bumblebee to safety, Ironhide and Ratchet and Jazz engaged Brawl on the streets of Mission City. But then Megatron comes in, kills Jazz by ripping him in half, and then engages Optimus Prime and was able to overpower him easily in their first fight. Soon as soon as Ironhide and Sam and Ratchet were getting close to where they needed to be, they ran into right into Blackout and then got overpowered by Starscream. Sam was on his own with Megatron behind him, chases him inside an abandoned building, and was running at him like and start was starting to charge at him like a shark inside on one of the upper floors. Michaela then couldn't bother to leave everyone behind, so she decided to get back into the battlefield and have Bumblebee take Brawl out with his own blasters, blasting the Decepticon in the chest. Once Sam got up there to the to the top of the abandoned building, he was about to give the Blackhawk guys this allspark, but then held it back from them because of Starscream shooting a missile right at them and blowing them to death in the chopper. In fact, why didn't Michael Bay look into using Vortex X and one of those UH-60 Blackhawks for him and include as well as feature the compact? Well, I understand this is meant to be introduction and all, and that folks wanted action, but wow. Anyway, Megatron made it to the top floor while offering Sam a chance of surviving if he gave him the Allspark. Sam refused, and they angered Megatron into turning his right hand into a mace and chain flails the pillar that he was standing in attempts of sending Sam to his death. Lucky for him, Optimus caught him, and then, while being chased down onto the streets by Megatron, the two opposing leaders engaged each other again. Soon, Blackout arrived and was willing to help Megatron kill Optimus, but was taken out by the same unit of soldiers that he was in, that he had that he from the base that he but was taken out by Lennox, who got his revenge on the Decepticon Pavlo for incinerating and for vaporizing his friends back in Qatar with a save-around blaster. Then, when Starscream tried to take out the air support, he ends up getting overpowered and decides to blend in with them. And then, while at the same time, he joins them in blasting Megatron, but firing missiles at Megatron. As soon as the F-22 Raptors started overpowering him, Optimus was able to make him trip. But before Megatron could try to get the hold of the Allspark, Sam, rather than giving it to Optimus, decides to shove it into Megatron's chest to kill him. Yeah, even though there was even despite the motto of no sacrifice, no victory, decides to shove it into Megatron's chest to kill him because he didn't want to lose Optimus. Yeah, Sam kills Sam, the main human protagonist, kills Megatron, leader of the Decepticons with the Allspark. And Optimus said, "You left me no choice, brother." Yeah, that's something. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Well, Optimus Prime, after having lost Jazz, the Autobots were look. Bumblebee was able to speak for briefly before and wanting to stay with Sam and Michaela, and Optimus respected it and decided to hand it over to him. Well, Ironhide escorts Lennox, brings William Lennox back to his home to reunite with his wife and baby daughter. Sam and Michaela were making out on top of Bumblebee, and here, as you see, uh, Optimus Prime Optimus Prime contacting Sideswipe, Skids, Mudflap, RC, Alita One, Jolt, and Chromia to come down and to join them on Earth to increase their numbers. Yeah, even though while Starscream leaves Earth to rally with the Fallen and the other Decepticons inside the Nemesis on one of Saturn's moons. Yeah, I'll be sure to do another review like this for Revenge of the Fallen later, guys. For now, feel free to comment on what you think about the stream so far. Ah, what the heck. Well, guys, I've got another stream to do in about 25 minutes, but thank you for joining me. Make sure you like it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the stream, guys. And do take care. Be sure to catch me for my next stream in 25 minutes, 24 minutes. And see you there.